I just bought this lathe last weekend. It's a 1956 Colchester Dominion 12 by 24. It's a student lathe, they call it. They were really popular in vocational schools and high schools and colleges. And one of the things wrong with it is this corner of the chip tray is broken off. The guy I bought it from said he dropped it while he was unloading it and he broke this thing off, but I don't know, I think it's been off longer than that. I don't know why he lied, but whatever the case, I gotta weld it back on. So I banged it out as straight as I could. I prepped it. Now I'm gonna attempt to weld it on. Let's see how I do. See if I can make it look pretty again. And there we go, I'll weld it back on. I ground it down, I buffed it out with a buffing wheel. I sanded it quickly, the sanding wheel. That's it. It's not like, 110% like new, but it's close enough. I mean, it was bent pretty good. It was hard to get the kerf out of this spot right here, but it ain't gonna leak any fluid. It's not gonna fall off anytime soon. It'll do what I want to do, so that's what you can do when you have a welder and you're not afraid to embarrass yourself on camera. Here's some more damage that I didn't know I had. When I bought this thing, this wheel, I guess you call it, was locked up tight. So I tried to tap it off the shaft with a mallet, a dead blow mallet. And as I tapped it, it got loose and it turns nice and easy now. But the knob here, the handle is broken off, so I have to weld it back together again. We'll make a new one. And there was this screw in here. I still don't know what it does. I got it out with left-handed drill bit. I'm not really sure what it does. There's no top on it, but there's a pointed end. And if you look in this hole, it indexes into something. So I gotta take this thing apart and investigate. I mean, the main reason I took it off was because this thing, this degree wheel, is really notchy. I got it loosened up quite a bit, but it turns really stiffly. So I'm thinking that when this thing dropped, it took a dent somewhere. I thought if you look, you can see there's like a dent right there. I don't know, maybe if it constricted the ID of this thing. I don't know. So I took this off. I had to use a puller to get it off. He's just splined on. It looks like a tapered spline too. But then I found this was broken. Oops. Hopefully it's something I can weld. It's magnetic, so let's see if I can weld it. The handle for this is in this bag. This took a hit too. Oops. This thing spins fine. Let that go, it spins fine. And it's magnetic. It's some kind of grainy looking crap, so it's probably cast steel or some cheap shit. I mean, it's heavy. So again, it's magnetic. I'm hoping I can weld it. I don't know, we'll find out. If not, I'll have to braze it or GB weld it or something. So let me get this thing off. See if I can weld it back together again or do something creative with it. This guy's taken out. I cleaned it all up. I put a slight bevel on the shaft part here. And to keep it straight, I put a bolt down the middle of it. Luckily, I happen to have 9/16 bolts in stock. Not a whole lot, but one just long enough to fit down this. 9/16 is a pretty obsolete size. A lot of old machinery and old cars have 9/16 bolts in them. My first car was a 69 AMX and it had front disc brakes and the caliper bolts were 9/16. I went through hell getting the right bolts for it, but that's how I found out it was a dead size. And that was back in 1982 or 3. So anyway, I'm gonna tack this thing and hope that it takes weld. Let's find out. I managed to get it to stick together. It doesn't weld very well, but I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can get. I'm not greedy. Now I'm gonna clean it up and get it all to fit. I mean, luckily this side shouldn't have any problem if there's weld sticking out. It's not a flush fit. I think this thing just sits there. But let me clean it up a bit, see what I can do, make it look a little nicer. I cleaned it up best I could in the lathe. I took this cut-off wheel to it to take some of the heavy off it because weld is extremely hard to cut. I mean, it beat the piss out of my cutter, but I got it a lot smoother and rounder and it fits in the lathe again, so I'm gonna leave it there. I mean, I'm sure a real machinist would look at what I'm doing and say, the best thing you could do for the machining industry is to sell your lathe and never touch a machine again. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So, all right, let me whip this together and then I'll work on that handle that's broken. So here's what's in this thing. The ring pops off and then you got 2 springs. And I'm guessing there should be 2 check balls. I only have 1. You know, I cleaned everything up, I polished the surface. There was some crap inside the, I don't know if you want to call it the track, whatever you want to call this inside here. I cleaned that all out, and it's still, it turns okay, but it's not smooth. It's kind of notchy feeling. So whether this check ball is beat, which is possible, or it needs two to balance it out, I don't know. I would assume it's got two springs, you have two balls, and it's only got one ball. So I may have a ball at home. That's a 1/4-inch check ball. I know I don't have any here. I don't think I do anyway. So I'll have to put this off for today till I can dig up another 1/4-inch check ball. If I don't have it, MasterCard does, but I won't have that until Tuesday now because it's Friday and they don't deliver. Actually, I take that back. I don't know if they deliver on Saturdays or not. I'll have to check. But anyway, let me see if I have one at home, and we'll go from there. So I did some research in the manual here, and evidently they call this an index ring. And if you look at the exploded view of all the parts, it shows the ring and the handle, and then there's 21 and 42. And if you look up 21 and 42, 21 is index ring springs, which, you know, yeah, that's a spring. 42 is ball for index ring. Okay, that's the check ball. And somewhere in here, there's a part that tells you how many of each thing you use, and they tell you that there's 6 balls and 6 springs. That is not accurate. Having this thing apart, I can tell you that there's only 4 holes in it. I put it together now, and to get it together was such a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna take it apart, I apologize, but there's 4 holes. 3 of them in a triangle, equidistant from each other, and 1 that indexes to this. When I took this piece out, if you remember I said it's tapered, I don't know what it does. Well, what I figured out was if you drop a check ball in there and you run this thing in, you know, instead of this ring moving freely, hang on a second, let me prop you up so you can see this. Okay, you know, the ring rotates freely. So when you're, you know, doing your machining, you can say, okay, there's my 0 point. So you run it back to 0, blah, blah, blah. When you run this thing in, the tapered part, you know, I made a new one out of a bolt. The tapered part will run up against the check ball and lock it up against the side. So when you crank this thing up, now it locks up. So, well, if I go a little tighter, it locks it up. And that'll hold your setting. Then you back it off half a turn or whatever, and that's it. So this thing spins much nicer now. Inside that groove where the balls ride, there was some chatter marks, like someone get in there with something and chewed it up. I didn't really feel like trying to fit something in there and smooth them all out. You know, it's an indexing ring. You know, it's all you gotta do is move it a little bit, and that's it. It's not like it's a bearing and a wheel. So there you go. I will do something more clever with this eventually. Right now, it's just a 5/16 fine thread bolt. I don't know if I'll drill through, put a T on it, machine it down. I don't know. I don't feel like taking I guess if I clock it that way and take it out, because the ball's going to move. I'm going to lose it, and I don't know how to get it back in place. But if I do it that way, the ball will fall that way. So anyway, this is all set. I got to put a handle on here somehow. To get this thing on, what a pain in the nuts. I mean, I am an overachiever. And like I said, there's 3 check ball holes and 3 check ball spring holes in a triangle shape. So to get them all in at the same time, for me, was impossible. So what I did was, I wish I did some video of it, but again, it's together now. I don't want to take it apart. I just took my die grinder and I made a mark where each check ball goes. See the magic marker? And you look in the back, you can see where they are. And I just ground with the carbide grinder a little ramp, you know, going 45 degrees. So as I fed this thing on, I could push the check balls down and captivate them on the ramp. That was still a pain in the nuts, but I got it. So now it's done. It's pretty smooth. Good enough for me. The finest check balls made in China from our good friend Jeff Bezos. So there you go. Throw this thing back together again, and hope it all works well. So I'm gonna make a piece to push into here that I'll weld onto this handle. It'll be my handle for the cross feed on the apron. And people always tell you, lathe is the only tool that you can use the tool to make parts to fix the tool. So I chucked up this piece of, got guess it's octagon stock I had lying around. I don't have any 1/4-inch round stock for some reason. I have aluminum, I don't have steel. So I'll just whittle this thing down 1/4 inch so it presses in this hole. And then I'll weld it to the handle, I guess. That's the plan anyway. Let's see what happens. I don't have my tripod today, sorry. You get the idea what I'm doing. This is the piece I made. It's just a shade over 1/4 inch, so it'll press into that hand wheel. And the other end has a little nub on it, which you index into this hole. So when I weld it in, I have something to pilot it. I'm gonna clean it up now and then I will weld it together. Ready to go. It's pressed in. I relieved the top side of that new piece, so I have a nice little V to weld into. So let's see what I can do here. Hopefully I don't destroy anything. And there we go. All welded up, all machined down, polished up a little bit. Let's knock it in and see how it works. She fits. Yay! I mean, it doesn't rotate, unfortunately, but I can't say the original one did. I mean, these don't. So this one probably didn't either. This one doesn't either. So I'm gonna go with they didn't rotate originally. Just gives me somewhere to, you know, rest my fat paw or grab out my thumb so I can rotate it easier than just grabbing the wheel, you know. So, all right, let's call this one done. Let's move on to welding my broken apron handle back together again. That ought to be fun. This one's gonna be a little tricky because it's a big piece and a little piece. So I cleaned up the wheel, I cleaned up the little piece, and I beveled the edge so I have something to weld into. The tricky part is that I gotta get this thing situated where it needs to go and tack it, and then get this other piece to go where it needs to go, and then tack it, and then full weld everything. The problem is, now that I beveled this thing, it doesn't sit quite as well as it did, because I took, you know, some of the surface area away, but you can still situate it. See right there, it just fell in. Let me get a little closer so you can see. You know, if I put it like that, obviously it won't fit, but you play with it and boom, see it just fell in there? So I should be able to hold that, tack that, then drop the other piece on, and life should be wonderful, right? We'll find out in a minute. So the hand wheel is all welded up. It welded okay. I mean, this is some cast shit, so I don't think it's ultra strong, but for hand wheel, it should be fine. Now I gotta grind everything down, buff it up, make it look pretty, so that's the next phase. And there you have it, done. Welded together, ground down, paddle wheeled. I even broke out the sanding roll just to get any sharp edges off it, because my dainty little fingers will be on this thing. So let me throw it back on and bring this project to a close, I hope. And that's that. This little war horse lives to fight another day. Whee! Look at that, huh? Wowee. Look at that guy go. Wowee. Hopefully it gives me many years of delight and trouble-free performance. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know I sure did. Nothing I like better than getting grinding powder in my eyes and my shirt and my underwear and everywhere. I mean, I think this came out pretty good, actually. I mean, you know, if I want to hang it in the refrigerator so my mother can see it, but you know, it was a broken wheel and I put it back together again. So look at me, huh? I don't know, whatever. Well, I hope whatever you're working on, your projects go better than mine. Thanks for watching, and talk to you later.